Salutations! So courteous is my... This is a stop...
Keep your pleasantry if it's compass for Miss that idiot. Bah.
When this little charm fades, she'll liberate the flesh from our faces.
Come now, enough doom and gloom. Cast your gaze.
Well, a source hunter. About time the council took us seriously. Maybe you can start with the two idiots.
Avert your gaze. Ah, who better than a proven orc crusher to convince my dumb...
Enough of that. I know how dangerous an orc can be, but this one has been reformed. Anyone can see that she's completely docile.
Maybe before the great orc raid we had time to indulge Ninius's idiotic obsessions. But now we're needed at our
Excuse my friend's violent outbursts. He hasn't enjoyed a woman's touch in quite some time.
Your woman's touch is less of a loving caress and more of a claw shanked brutally through the throat. I'll take my...
My friend here and I were patrolling outside the city walls, when who did I see creeping along the shore? Perhaps confused by the butterflies in her stomach, she sprang up and began running, claws bared towards Marius. A vial of love potion shattered over her head, and when she turned to face... I'm sure she must have been compelled to join the Orcish army under some kind of duress.
I can assure you there wasn't a hint of sweetness in those murderous eyes when she lunged at my throat. She may be
I've always had an amateur interest in all things alchemical. When I sent away for the world-famous love potion, available for a limited time only, and it has...
You see what a fool my friend has been, spending all his cash on...
What kind of monster would lie in a published advertisement?
You see? He'd believe it was noon at midnight if he read it on a printed pamphlet. Please tell...
She's got to be put down. If this love potion is as dodgy as it sounds...
Agreed. I've never met an orc I trusted.
Glad to hear I'm not the only one with common sense around here. I'll do the honors myself.
No! She's harmless! Please! You bastard! You had no right!
No right to protect not only you from your own stupidity, but myself and the citizens of Sicile as well.
It's you we need protection from, murderer. Fortunately, the Wizards of Youthful Gore make a revenge elixir that will show you what's what.
Go ahead and throw your sugar water on me if you like. Your foolishness is no longer my problem. Thank you, stranger. If you ever need help, I'll do my best to repay you.
One day, Moira. One day you'll show 'em all.
I should have done this from the very start.
I've spotted something.
Peabody? Neither of you cares to plead for his very existence.
But if one were to reduce the quantity of skull... Oh, a source hunter. Imagine that. Quite a bit more petite than the last of your... No matter. Even if it couldn't spare its heartier specimen, I'm sure that... Me? Why, I'm more than... It was I who cured the Duchess of Arata of her unslakable thirst. A simple pinch of Atropa belladonna in her morning tea. Not to mention that it's been my guidance that has permitted my apprentice Evelyn to make quite a name. Yes. If that's how we're referring to the secret of you, she's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps you can prevail upon her to offer a demonstration. She's gotten hold of a stone, supposedly capable of fantastic feats of heat. But she claims to have gotten the relic from a little northern town, Silverglen by name. Utter rubbish, I say. But with these blasted undead haunting the travel routes, I can hardly march up to... Well, she certainly possesses a critical eye and an exacting manner when it comes to... I expect she'll be a very successful healer in her own right when it... Sorry, but there isn't much work for sailors in a house of meds. Unless one of them happens to have us. Certainly, what would you like to know? The counsellor. Terrible loss, that. Though we were hardly... From what I can tell, it seems to be a simple case of jealousy turned violent. The affairs of his wife, Esmeralda... I've applied myself to that problem for 2 years and still haven't come... I declare it an act of the Almighty's, if I believed in such things. Some event...
Healing stone. Interesting indeed.
Nothing sets me on edge like inexplicable magic. Excuse me? This is a private sick room. Who in the name of the Seven do you think you are, barging in? I'm sorry. It's this task. Who am I? I'm an apprentice of the healing arts. Healing. But this decision feels like precisely the opposite. I have but one healing. I've been racking my brain trying to decide on the best method to settle this grave situation. But perhaps it's better off. What would you like to know? One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but excellent. Thankfully for him, a cattle trader found him, nearly dead. Quite the venerable staple of Sicile, Stephen, and recently blessed with his 3rd grandchild. He was leading a crew of builders when a stray beam struck him. Nearly everyone in Sicile is familiar. You are?
Boris's life has just begun. We can't...
Yes. Boris. Boris it is? Yes. I'll deliver the stone. No, this is highly abnormal. What is this? This lightning?
What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone, somehow it sent us flying into the stars.
Terrible! It will consume us all. By the quill that lasts a billion words, what's this? 2 Rivalonian... Oh, yes. Proper introductions. Zigzags the historian at your service. As for how I got here, well, for a historian appointed by the gods themselves. How you got here, though? That's on such a tiny and rapidly shrinking vestige of space and time. At last a question I can answer most definitively. Time ought naturally to have no end at all. Indeed, I can think of no worse. Show, don't tell, I always say. So go, peer through...
It may be quite mad.
Then we had better appease him and have a look through the looking lens.
You saw. Terrifying, isn't... What's this? The portal. It's... The portal has become active. The portal. It's quite sprung to life, just like the long dormant flames that you, dear stranger, you must be the key. Something of those torches, a light. This portal active once. Goodness me, how right you are. There's so much to take in, I'd nearly forgotten. And it is the void itself. The dragon that is devouring. I can't say for sure where it came from, how or why, but I do know this. It's shrinking our future by the second. It's not that I believe, it's that I have seen. Then, no longer than a few mere moments after you arrive, though I cannot say for certain if it is what I believe, then in fact, every last question that ever plagues your noggin might well be... But why spoil the mystery? As soon as we leap through... After you. Oh, what? You first. But don't... Yes! Just as I'd hoped. There she is. There it is. Come, don't delay.
And he's off.
It seems the imp has spotted exactly who and what he'd hoped to find here.
Could it be, milady? The Weaver of Time?
Indeed, Sir Imp. As surely as you are he.
Astounding! Unbelievable!
You have brought guests, I see.
My reaction exactly, milady. It was their arrival here at the end of...
This is a question better put to our guests themselves. Tell us, how did you arrive upon this... A stone? So... It was a stone that caused the great shock of energy that... Not like this, no. What happened to you? Never had I experienced something so... contrary to my nature. To weave something, but yours has. You appeared before me from the moment you came into contact with that stone.
But, Madam Weaver, how is it possible? Do you not see all?
Like the stones, your guests are a mystery to me. I see them before me in this world, but their likenesses source hunters. It would seem that yourselves and Starstone are inextricably linked. Why and how, I cannot say, but I do... Starstone is not what it seems, Source Hunter. Its true nature... Do you see what violence my work has suffered?
Mysteries of all time, gaps in history.
It would appear that Starstone transforms at your touch, granting me new thread.
I see. What the void...
Yes. Though I cannot explain why this Starstone is the antidote to the void. If we do not restore time, if we do not discover the true nature of these stones, indeed you must. Though I may not yet understand why. It seems that you and you alone can unlock the powers within Starstone.
Why, of course, that's what they were doing. I have recorded their doings, you see, collectors of Starstone.
Without these stones, Hunter, there will be no Rivellon. The entire...
That shall never be, milady. As sure as Zix comes before Zax, we will put a stop to it. Please, our most mysterious guest, are you ready? Are you with... What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell!
Not but a moment ago, we were hunting Source in Rivellon, and now we're being told that we alone can prevent the end of time by way of some magical stones.
We can't deny our reaction to Starstone. There must be something to all of this. Mad and...
No matter how improbable...
The glint in your gaze and the set of your brow suggest to me... No, with you searching out Starstone, I believe we'll mend the But you'll need a way to travel between Rivalon and this homestead, won't you? Who wouldn't want to see what fantastic changes your search? Luckily, the power of portals is known to you, so I'll let you in on the little secret of how to transport. Off you go, then. You've Starstone to find, and I've a tapestry to examine. Surely there must be some clue.
Cross my heart, hope to fade in the void. I honestly don't know. But ask...
Like the imp said to the ballist, wouldn't it just? Would that I had a Starstone just like yourselves. Starstones are cute. From what I can gather, though, they were once cherished by ruins, caves, the lairs of long-forgotten evils. Those are the den. Neither do I. But the mere fact that activated Starstone has set this in turn more than implies that you are the Void's natural enemy, for it is you who is setting... We may not understand the how yet, but our aim is clear. We shall... Oh, I don't know if I'm more than those things per se, but having been given a divine mission does have its perks. But of course I have a price to pay for something that is priceless. It is my duty to record all. So, gather those Starstones so that we may know the history that was lost. Know so that we must not repeat what lonesome, observing the frontier of creation, surfing the vibrant tide. Well, yes, actually. I don't mean to complain, but perhaps you can imagine the profound pleasure it is to have made the Weaver's acquaintance after all these years. I can hardly... Before you go, Source Hunter, a final word. Once you return, I hope he'll be able to help you as much as he can. Time.
How welcome you are upon in the ethereal threads of eternity, the drift of continents through changing seas, the rise and fall of empires, the shift of every grain of sand, except, it seems, you ask and I shall answer. I am the Weaver of Time, as I have told you. Though my existence is one, I am but what I am, and that is task. It is the same for the historian. Chronic, perhaps we are one and the same. Task multiplied by 2. Who has made us? Am I the beginning? And am I to be the end? Who shall say? Perhaps I am the first thing in creation. Perhaps I am creation. Alas, the answers to those questions still elude me. A hidden answer lies behind this veil of inscrutability, though. For I believe that Starstones will not lead you to... Oh, Hunter. I have no need for company. Like I have no need for air or appetite. And yet, I do enjoy your companionship. For you may prove to become the cure that will heal. Quite so. Your absence, it should be an impossibility. I do not know you, which makes you my one perennial imperfection. But perchance I may be cured of this blindness. Perchance the blemish may be undone, and time can be redeemed. What it is but a seed bereft of sun and water. What it could be. I reside in another realm altogether. But ever since the end of time appeared in these deep dark skies, I materialized here, as if forced to watch the one thing. I think that perhaps you can redeem time, because you create time. Indeed, you have set in motion, and know that no longer I did weave. I sat here, at the end of time, and watched on, but suddenly there was you. You who stirred the life within the stone. New threads emerged, and I began to weave anew. These starstones. Please, seek them so that time may yet be mended.
Good to see you on the shelter, like the imp said to the ballista operator. Shoot!
I have the last chest. The last chest. The last chest! If you believe yourself worthy of rifling through my ample treasures, I do dare you to prove it! Find my 4 sisters. No more.
The great absence of all that even the gods cannot comprehend. It leads us, like infinity, for the finality of tick-tocking time.
Source Hunters, I welcome you once again to the realm of Rivellon after your travels through the chasms of space. Nice to have... I know the imp historian has told you about his agent on Rivellon, and that agent is I. So now that you know of the alliance between me and Sir Zigzag, and I'll be delighted to give it. Dark webs are being woven around these parts, and it is my firm belief It can therefore hardly be a coincidence that Councillor Jake was a collector of the stones we seek. His foul murder, and that means the task you have been given remains crucial. Find the assassin that did away with Jake, for you're bound to stumble upon Starstone along... While you were being lectured by our friend the historian and the grande dame of time, the advantage of being a cat, you know. You go where you please with impunity. And that's where I saw them in a cabinet. Mere slivers, but specks of Starstones nonetheless. They lay there. Don't we all long for a sanctuary where our worldly troubles can be held at bay? But perhaps I speak only for myself, not for veterans such as yourselves that by necessity... Like any cat worth its salt, though, I deeply cherish a secret refuge unbeknownst to anyone. To be able to repose without a care... Let me phrase it like Zigzag's might. A universe without time is like a pen. I'll not pretend to have all the answers, or that I understand all that is. If Zigzag worries, I worry. We are talking about a creature, after all, that has reclined among the divines as nonchalantly... I met him first, a long time ago, out in the wastes of Youthful Gore. He wondered aloud, what on earth a cat... So I told him who I was and showed him my human form. He laughed. In the end, he even shared his great sorrow with me. The unspeakable thing you saw through his looking lens. Oh, before you go, here. Take this teleporter pyramid. A handy toy. You'll need the other one, too, if you want to make use of its powers, but alas, I seem to have misplaced it. Don't worry, though. Use this one here, and it'll take you straight to its twig. Now that this matter has been settled, Hunters, I shall detain you no longer. But rest assured, I'll do my share of hunting, too.
Oh my gods! What is going on here? First I have to shoo away a creeping white tomcat, and now there's a perfect stranger in my bathroom. Get out, will you? Little mix-up indeed. I don't know what you and that... Out! Now, if you please! This room is private. Don't just stand there. Go! Away with you! What are you still doing here? Begone! you please. This room is private. Don't just stand
Now
there.
this
Go.
is valuable.
Away with you! What are you still doing here? Begone!
You there! A moment of your indulgence, if you please. You are the source hunter, are you not? No, scratch that. It is so much more than a delight. It is an Mendius at your service. What is my profession? Well, I'll tell you what it used to be. Oh, it's not merely an opportunity. It is a once in a...
Of course I do. How could...
Quite right. Adventure is...
See here. You and I share the same passion. I never doubt. Too bad your line of work comes with such measly recompense.
Well, I can't say...
Yes, some extra gold.
Indeed. Indeed, gold is always welcome. Even so, my friend, matters of a pecuniary nature aside, what is life without variety? Without spice?
It's better to lead than to...
Better to be so.
Well spoken. Well said indeed. Life's too short to spend it doing someone else, and that is exactly why I am here. Why fate has put me right by the door to the King Crab. Ah, the fabulous 5. How I enjoy simply saying the words that describe the most... You'd like nothing more than to enlist, wouldn't you? Of course you would. And you can. Of course, if you still have questions. What a gem of a question. Now then, to join the Fabulous 5 is to join a fellowship, to join a fraternity, a sorority, a community. Of course, should you spread the word, should you propagate the gospel of the Fabulous 5, and thereby... By now, the genial glow of the fellowship must have warmed your heart. It has, hasn't it? Work hard. Fulfill contracts. Enlist new knights, and swiftly shall you rise through the ranks. You will better your... Of course, of course, of course!
Join a guild. Better...
And me. May all...
Marvelous! Magnificent! Oh, but what am I saying? Fabulous is the word. You may not realize it yet, but your fortunes... Oh, it's a pretty straightforward task, this one. Now, in this town dwells a wizard. Ahu is his name, and he's a frightful eccentric. Scientific type, you know the kind. One of them was a big lumbering apparatus. A frightful automaton shaped like a giant. But you can guess what happened. Did it become sentient? Was it cursed? Whatever the cause, the thing relieved itself of its pilot, and luckily there are those in this world who belong to the Fabulous 5. The braves who eat such monstrosities for breakfast. Go, my friend. You found new recruits already? Efficient. Proactive. Oh, I like that. Send them to me and I'll sign them up. And of course, they call the undead a problem, my friend. But those who know the ways of the Fabulous 5 see no problems. They see opportunity. What more is there to say, my friend? I am a duke, potato-eating peasant.
Back, demon! Back, or I'll... Well, what's this?
Oh, Medora, you lummox. 1,000...
I'll tell you, it sure does me good to set eyes on another of our order. From Academy West. You wouldn't. I trained up in Academy North, after all. We don't cross paths with you Westies all that often. Medora's the name. Retired. Or so the Order keeps trying to tell me, but never out of commission. Heavens hornets! That's quite a story, comrade. And see, I'm here on... well, let's call it a long... There's been an attack there, comrade. Orcs. Not your run-of-the-mill sap. What they want in Hunter's Edge, I can't say. But it's my responsibility to send them packing. Preferably with their horns in their suitcases. I came south seeking the Legion's help, only to find it tied here in Sicil. They don't have a spare soldier to send northward, and even in my finest, by the skin of my teeth, comrade. The savages were rounding up villagers when one of them activated a tripwire on our village wizard's property. I managed to wrench free of my captor's grip and flee toward the forest. He pursued me well, comrade. I hadn't thought of it till you tapped my shoulder. I need a contingent I can trust if I'm to take back the town. And the way I see it, you could use reinforcements here in town.
The likes of which I doubt you could even fathom, old friend.
Surely you've met your match once or twice.
The closest I've got to my match is when I linger over Lombard lighting my pipe.
Oh, careful now. Your head's growing more swollen than saffrons, I dare say.
Do I seem like the sort who concerns myself with such things?
You'll be concerned enough when you realize that beforehand you won't be lying in your pockets.
Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge? They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom, old friend.
Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met your match once or twice.
Ha! The closest I've got to my match is when I linger over Lombard lighting my pipe.
Oh, careful now. Your head's growing more swollen than saffrons, I dare say.
I've been scouting Sicil for some time now, and I believe I've sussed out sufficient intel to help solve the murder of the Counselor. with our minds and swords in tandem. Well, you know the old expression. 2's a tea party, 3's an invasion. I know this place like the back of my hand by now, and it...
A fantastic plan! With 3 source hunters working in tandem, we'll...
Another source hunter on the team will make us all the more formidable against this wicked magic.
That's the spirit. Listen closely now. Do you hear it? That's the sound of every orc.
They say he's privy to secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom,
sound, friend. Mind control vibrations, I'm sure. Don't be seduced, comrades.
Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met your match once or twice.
Ha! The closest I've come to my match is when I linger over long while lighting my pipe.
Oh, careful now. Your head's growing more swollen than Saffron's, I dare say. What have we here? A source hunter, is it? Well, my day just became tall as an elf, strong as an orc. But your face, and my word, what passion burns from your eyes. Please forgive my being forward, but I am Anna. Jewel in the crown, I've cut 1,000 throats, and baked 1,000 bread rolls. Stolen the crown. When the day comes that I die, the gods will evacuate the heavens to make I contain multitudes, you see, and I am utterly replete. Except that, much to my dismay. But then, Source Hunter, you wandered into that. I have. For nearly a lifetime, it seems. Well, I'm sure you must know what I mean. Like existence itself lacked a significant component. Like I believe I have found that component, that body, that spirit within you, Source Hunter. Yes, you must join the Fabulous Five right away, as soon as time permits. Together, as a team, we'll explore the So you've joined up. You've sworn to share in our adversity and our I can finally offer you our finest adventuring equipment at fantastic in-house rates. Come now, let's trade. Well, you must be thrilled to find yourself a member of a team so widely renowned for its valor and skill. And you must be even more curious about how you yourself can suit up to face such enemies. I hear you've been tasked with taking out that crazed robot in the northern cave. I'm sure you'd like to equip yourself with the finest possible accoutrement, wouldn't you? Oh, darling, that was so long ago now. Who can remember who said what after all this time? Well, you are a member of the eminent Fabulous Five, after all.
Whatever happened to that troop of eager imbeciles we sent to the northern cave?
Do I seem like the sort who concerns myself with such things?
You'll be concerned enough when you realize that reward money won't be lining your pockets.
Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge?
Fortune? Ha! He should be so lucky as to be defeated by Alistair the Great.
They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom, old friend. Providing you can afford it, I'll be happy to supply you with all the gear you'll need while swinging swords alongside the Fabulous Five.
Sorry, I've run out of signed handkerchiefs. An Alistair keyring, maybe. In any case, make it quick. You're not the only fan who wants some of my time. What do you mean, not familiar? You expect me to believe you... Why? I'm only the most famous wizard this side of the distance. Although, it'd be... And don't forget, I'm the most eminent member of the Fabulous Five to boot. Surely you already know we've been voted the most influential and... Well, well, you're far from my caliber, but who isn't? It's good you're eager, but let me give you a word of warning. Aim for my spot. You'll be dealing with Ahu's little abomination, will you? I'd go myself, but if I don't leave a few crumbs for the newbies once in a while, they'll look cute. Those nasty beasts are hardly worth my time. Though I suppose I'll step in if none of the recruits manage to prove adept enough to handle a few skeletons.
Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met your match once or twice.
Ha! The closest I've come to my match is when I linger over long...
Providing you can afford it, I'll be happy to supply you with all the gear you'll need while swinging swords alongside the Fabulous Five. Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met your match once or twice.
Ha! The closest I've come to my match is when I...
A source hunter? I'd like to report some... Been at the King Crab nearly 10 years now, personally. Seen every character you can imagine from... I think I'm one of the last folks to hear him alive. That awful scream has been ringing in my ears ever since. And with the room where it all happened still under... Though that's the question, isn't it? What exactly did happen? We all thought it was Esmeralda who checked in. I was washing up and nudging the last of the lushes out of the door when a cloaked woman rushed in right past me. I never got a good look at her. Damn my eyes. But I figured the way she disappeared, that she was visiting one of the... Lucky for the perpetrators, I was rinsing bottles in the back when the terrible deed took place and saw nothing more. I'm not proud to say I ducked under the counter and damn well stayed there till I heard Ivad fling that... A source hunter! I think I'm one of the last folks to hear him alive. Though that's the... I was washing up and... Lucky for the perpetrators, I was rinsing bottles in the back when the terrible deed took place and saw nothing more. I'm not proud...
Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had...
Pointless chatter with strangers does so thrill me. How did you know? How curious of you to show interest in a lone... So you've wrangled a position in the Fabulous Five, have you? You've been sent after Ahu's insane robot, I understand. Do you imagine that while you're busy being crushed by that abomination... Greetings, Source Hunter. I don't mean to hinder your investigation, but I can't open this...
Come now, Alistair. Surely you met your match once or twice.
Greetings, traveller. And may the Immaculate Conduit's myriad blessings comfort and What's in a name, dear friend? For we all begin each. You mean you haven't heard? Oh, what fortune that I'm... Steel yourself, friend. For your mortal spirit could be forever transformed by following her instructions and becoming initiated into the one way we can each of us live on for a span. She came from on high to we mortals. She showed us that injury and malady need not mark the end of life, but the true... for this hallowed information, you must seek an immaculate chapel. Go north, friend. There, among her followers and friends, dwells the goddess's ecstasy. Her one way. Go on the path to the righteous, my friend. Forget not...
Soon the last will be beaten. Beaten like the anvil of Grog, the torturer. All hail, Grog!
Greetings, greetings! Oh, you are most welcome in my chamber. Customers rarely find me up here, but I am. I have spent more of my life on the road travelling alongside great caravans than I have in any given place in Rivellon. All of this earth is my home. You wouldn't believe some of the things I have seen. Oh yes, a city besieged by the dead isn't even remotely special to me. Oh, but let us not discuss. Let us browse and barter.
By the filed teeth of Suluma Soul Shredder, the end is nigh. Death comes a-creeping for you, Victoria! The hunters go a-stalking in the night. By the needles of the million bleeder, they'll end it all in blood!
How gratifying to see you return. You are quickly becoming my favorite customer.
The hunters go a-stalking in the night. By the needles of the million bleeder, they'll end it all in blood! By the filed teeth of Sulumar Soul Shredder, the end is nigh. Death comes a-creeping for you, Victoria!
How gratifying to see you return. You are quickly becoming my favorite customer.
Oh, Sulumar Soul Shredder, the end is nigh. Death comes a-creeping for you, Victoria! By the filed teeth of Sulumar Soul Shredder, the end is nigh. Death comes a-creeping for you, Victoria! The hunters go a-stalking in the night. By the needles of the million bleeder, they'll end it all in blood!
Move along.
Ah, you have come. Yes, that is most satisfactory. Begone, brittle. My name is Eglandir Twil Salanar, elf of the House of Gandavum, the slaughtered House of Gandavum. But by the twin blade, a game, yes! A game of blood and brutality, of death and dexterity. The elves of Gandavum, they lived in peace. Oh, yes. But one night, when the moon had hid her face, all undone. Every last one of us. Except for me, the midnight rambler, away from the city. I was very old, but I may be frail, a withered grey, but the wealth of kings is mine. Countless assassins have ministered to the vengeance that is my want, and now is almost over. By Kala, Lee, I have tracked her down. By the curse of the spine spear I have. She does not know her ill-shapen son is setting fast. Colour the dusk red, O sword of youth. Bloody the day with the bramble sap that runs. Yes, Victoria. She is the one whose heart must be held in hand. The heart around which the orcs of Gazuldagar, they knew my name. Oh yes. By the bite of the roving rattler, they knew my design. Her name is that of a woman, her employment that of a civilized being. But by the fork of Barbara Man-Eater, she is nothing but an orc, a cyst of nature, one of a misbegotten litter. Victoria, librarian, daughter, adopted child of Cecil, Mayor of Sicile. There is bloodlust in you. I can feel it. Let it out. Set it free. Undo.
I'm telling you, a necromancer must have been at work in Sicile. How else do you explain...
That was quite the radical change we witnessed. I never would have thought that the benign old man we met outside would turn out to be a vengeance-driven aficionado of assassins.
He has been driven to madness by grief, I think. But I understand his urge to see every last one.
Perhaps. But let's just say I understand him.
Let's see. Key, lockpick, or hammer?
Soon the last will be beaten. Beaten like the anvil of Grog, the torturer. All hail Grog! All hail his hot-steeled instruments. Soon the last will be beaten. Beaten like the anvil of Grog, the torturer. All hail Grog! All hail his hot-steeled instruments. Soon the last will be beaten. Beaten
like the anvil of Grog, the torturer. All hail Grog! All hail his hot-steeled instruments.
Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging the
Watch out! I smell the fierce stench of frightened source goblin.
Actually, I think that's only roast pig.
Sightseeing isn't so bad on a quiet day like this, is it?
This time.
The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Corbin there.
Oh, fancy that. A source hunter barging in when the lady of the... Oh, fancy that. A source hunter
Looks like that dog is awfully agitated.
Perhaps he wants to tell us something.
So many dead civilians. It's an honor to visit the farm.
Rest in peace, darling. Peace be with you, traveller. May your...
I once lived a prosperous life with my husband and our happy little daughter, Loni. But Loni never recovered from the loss. And when a group of mercenaries, predators, more aptly called, she were killed less than a week after she joined. Here she lies.
Peace be with you, traveller. May your lost loved ones rest in peace.
Look here, even a sage and author as renowned as I is flattered when mortals dare among the dead. As if I need introduction. Nemris the Thinker. Oh, I've written so many celebrated treatises, but of course you have read there isn't a civilized soul alive that hasn't perused its profound pages percolating with perspicacity. You can, and indeed you must. But alas, I was not buried with a printed version of that blueprint of genius that is my inimitably esteemed essay. Never fear, though, for each and every library in Revellon boasts a copy, the gilded cherry on their paper pie.
Rest in peace, darling.
The very fact that you seek me out once more is in itself a token of wisdom. You can, and indeed you must. But alas...
to the earth.
No glory in this death.
Everything we do seems to fortify your abilities.
I suppose your example has inspired me to reach heights I'd never before envisioned.
That inspiration hardly flows.
Here lies David, who ran from the Reaper. You'll never catch me alive.
Rest in peace, darling.
Bow.